Hey there, this is Bert. Before you watch this episode, I just wanted to say one thing, and that is the topic of suicide is talked about in this video, and I just wanted to give you a heads up in case that's sensitive for you. Um, yeah, that, and I know that the overall quality of these things is kind of shitty right now, but hey man, this is a work in progress. Like I said, I build the plane as I fly it. The videos will get better. I'll figure something out with backgrounds and get everything, lights and colors and all that good stuff. But anyway, I needed to just put this up there beforehand and just let everybody know that the topic of suicide is discussed. It's a topic I am very comfortable talking about because I've been in that space a lot more than I care to be. I much prefer never seeing it again. But having been in that space so much for so long, I can speak to it all day long, which is kind of depressing in and of itself. Oh, without further ado, here we go. Welcome to Modern AI Web Machine, Episode 1, Final Flow. Why I built this and what you're about to learn. Hi, I'm Bert, your hosting guide. And this is the Bert for Sale website, an online art gallery I built to support mental health awareness. And I'm going to show you exactly how I built it from scratch with WordPress, WooCommerce, and AI tools. Here's the mission. For me, this really isn't about selling art. It's about starting mental health conversations that wouldn't otherwise happen. I've lived with depression all my life. My first suicide attempt was at age 16. And throughout my life, I've oscillated between depression and anxiety. Anxiety driven by the fear of not being good enough, a core belief of my old identity. And also, depression shows up when results would reinforce core beliefs and confirm my bias. My mental illness cost me my marriage and my family, and had me living in my car unemployed for 16 months while navigating a divorce I didn't want in the midst of a major treatment resistant depressive and suicidal ideation phase. I have a great deal to say on both those topics, but that is for another video. So here's why ownership matters. You have your files. You have your images. You have backups of your website. You are in control. Things you got to think about. What if your web host goes away? They do. It happens. Websites go down, servers go down, things disappear. I've got so many bookmarks of things from eons ago, and it's 404. They don't exist anymore. So what happens if your web host goes away and you don't have any backups and you don't have any access? You can't get in through FTP. You can't log in through the control panel. You are SOL. So, how do you go from a blank WordPress site to a full online store like this? I'm going to walk you through the back end of my website's WordPress admin panel. Hey there. So here we're looking at my WordPress dashboard. I have a number of plugins loaded. Right now I have 24 active, which honestly is too much for my liking. The less plugins, the better, the faster it runs. Think of it this way. Every plugin you add is another developer's creation. So you are chain linking, integrating. I don't know how you want to think about it, but think of it this way: these different, basically code bases, are all running together to generate your site. So the more plugins you add, the more layers you add. So less layers, faster site. So at some point, I will try to whittle out some of these. Some are critical. I couldn't do it without it. Like this one here, WooCommerce. If you watch over here on the left-hand side, you'll see where I'm at. Right now, I'm just going to show you at a high level what things are going on in the admin area. So first thing was the dashboard up here on the top. The Hostinger here, this is the web host, and they actually have a couple of plugins that run on the site to help the site perform better on their framework. So I have the hosting, the dashboard. Sitekit is Google. Jetpack is Automatic, which is /WordPress. Jetpack provides protection and a whole suite of services, but there are many that you do not have to pay a dime for. So I'll show you how to configure all that. Posts is where you have all your blog posts and things you're writing about. The media gallery, the YouTube gallery. I have the rank math SEO running, and I don't have the upgrade, but I plan to get it so that I can have some really comprehensive SEO analysis going on. So again, plugins, I have 24 active right now. I have 3 inactive, and it is always wise to have inactive plugins removed. You're just leaving some barn doors ajar. That's the only way I can put it. If you remove them, there's no way somebody could backdoor into your website. That's what I'm getting at. So in this instance, Klaviyo, I actually have a Klaviyo account set up, and that's why this is here. I got to do some troubleshooting. Lightspeed Cache, same thing. I'm doing some troubleshooting with this cache plugin with the host. The Klaviyo is integrated with WooCommerce. This helps me manage email and follow-ups. And then Gtranslate is to translate my website into an entirely different language, which is something I'd like to do, have this go multilingual. So I'll move over here to the WooCommerce plugin. Here is the Jetpack plugin, and again, I have mine logged in and set up under the free option, and I can show you how to do that in another episode. Again, this one here is this video is just a high level overview of what's going on. My Sitekit settings are all in here. I got this blurred out down here so you can't read it because it's private information. But anyway, Google is connected. I've got analytics connected, page, page speed insights. And then the other thing I also want to get hooked in is Google Tag Manager. Yeah, Google Tag Manager. I want to set that up because it would allow me to track individual buttons. And let's say I send out an email campaign to a particular button on the website, and then that takes them to a certain page, and then et cetera, et cetera. The tag manager can basically tag that pathway so it can follow any visitor who happens to go through that pathway. It will follow them through, and perhaps they drop off at some point. This will track that. So I had already railed about Jetpack, the posts, the media, the YouTube gallery. Featured Images is a plugin that helps me with the posts. I was having some trouble with featured images showing up, and I use this to have them basically get pushed back out there, sort of force it out. And they're there, but this is a perfect example of a plugin that I can get rid of. It's a troubleshooting issue. Just did not have the time or bandwidth to do it. Pages, comments, standard stuff. Feedback is from the form responses I get. The rank math I already talked about. Woo, I talked about. Products is related to Woo. This is how you enter all your products into the store. And not only are all the products in here, but all the whatchamacallits, like bundles. I have these bundles. Like you can get 2 posters or 3, and I have that all set up. Now, what's happening over here is pretty wonky. That has to do with the screen options up here. I'm trying to show too many things horizontally. So I can take out categories. Do I need the price? I don't need the SKU. I would like the image. I could actually, I'm going to get rid of the image. No, actually, I want to see image and featured image. I don't need to see tags because I will do that on a piece by piece basis. SEO, I want to see brands that I'm not using. This is why I'm doing this exercise. So that's gone. I believe this is featured or favorites. Yeah. So featured is in there. Date, stats. I don't need any of that stuff right now. Here you get into the posters and the postcards. So a total of 26 items listed in here. And hit the apply button. Now that I've made those changes to the columns, and here it reloads, and voila, we have a better products page to look at. Payments helps you configure the payment information. Marketing, this helps with the Klaviyo. Printful is my third-party fulfillment service, and they take care of printing the posters and shipping them. Appearance is to change the appearance of the themes. This is something I've been waiting to do, basically because I've been waiting for this project to start. Right now, I'm running this thing called Storefront, which is by Automatic. It's okay. I've had to hack it a little bit to get it to do some of the things I want. I think I'm wanting to go to something a bit more like this store theme. I don't know, there's just something about this one that I'm more drawn to. I think maybe it's this left-hand side that allows you to filter things. Because one of the things I anticipate is to have a fair amount of art on this website. It's going to be wide ranging. So uh, filtering is very attractive, very attractive tool to have. So again, our appearance, we're looking at the themes. Fonts help me manage some of the fonts that aren't already loaded that I want to have present on the website, or I just want to use them. Feedsy helps me with pulling in feeds from other website sources. And I believe it'll also help me uh, set up my own feed that goes out from this website. So I can include pictures, for example. Uh, this right here might be the most important damn plugin there is. And here I am talking about it next to last. This is backup. Well, I call it backup WP, but you can see it's back WP up. By the way, you're going to see WP everywhere. There is like a copyright thing. You can't use WordPress here. because of the copyright. You have to have WP. The plugin maker did. And you'll see that all through WordPress materials and plugins and documentation and everything. So anyway, back to the backup. So I like this plugin simply because it's nice and clean. The interface is clean. It tells me when the next scheduled backups are happening. I can configure the data, how often, where it goes. Same thing with the database. Where's my data source? How often do you want me to do it? Where do you want me to put it? Right? Those are pretty straightforward things. My backup history, you can see the dates and timestamps of what was backed up, and the icons tell me what it was. So database was done, at 2 o'clock today, like 7.5 hours ago. And then the plugins were done, oh goodness, earlier than that. And then the database yesterday, I don't know what that is, unknown. Then plugins again. Oh, it's probably the whole, it's all the files, excluding plugins. It's basically everything else, the images, all of that. I don't know why it's showing it as unknown. That's, again, this is another troubleshooting thing. So, I may record every damn thing I do with this. Yeah, you'll get the whole shooting match. This is AMP for WordPress. AMP is a format for web pages that is primarily used for mobile devices to improve the mobile experience. It's a way of marking up the content so that it displays only the crucial information. A lot of websites can be, jammed with bells and whistles, and it's too much for a mobile phone. It reminds me of when the web was young. I had to watch out for how many kilobytes an image was because, the data was going through a cocktail straw. We're talking about dial-up modems, right? So anyway, the AMP plugin is here for that reason, so that not the store so much as the blog and other content I want to run through AMP. And the bonus is that Google, to the last I knew, Google looks favorably, or the algorithms look kindly on websites that provide an AMP format option. So, it's really not a lot of skin off my back to put it in here. And I actually like what it looks like when it's presented on a phone. So I use it. Again, a lot of this is personal choice. The AMP here, this is a perfect example of a plugin you do not need to run. This is me and my setup. I want this, right? If you check it out and check out the background of it and you think it's to your advantage, rock and roll. That's the way this goes. Back to the top. Anything else I want to go back over before we wrap this up? The security plugin. I'll click on it. Why not? So I got to get my security improved. I thought it was better than that. Anyway, so that's why we install these damn plugins. Because again, this plugin is looking at a wide variety of potential security issues, and lets you go through and basically, cross your T's, dot your I's, button up your shirt, and close the barn door. So yeah, that's what this will help with. And I think, yeah, I'm going to have to sort of noodle on a way to structure this to go through these plugins. I'm thinking maybe the thing to do is, as we go through the setup, I just would explain it at that time as I'm setting it up. Yeah, I think that's how we'll rock and roll. Because what I believe I'm going to do is take this, or I have this website running. I'm going to install a brand new version of WordPress. Have that this is my up and running, store, but I'm going to build this store again in that clean version of the site so you can see all of this come together. Cool. I think that's it. All right, boys and girls, and parents of all ages, we will see y'all later. So what makes this different? Like, big deal. You have an e-commerce website. The difference here is you are in control. There's no monthly fees. You own everything. And with a little help from AI, it's going to make this even easier than ever to do. You have AI support for content automation, content automation, but also content and automation. AI can help with the customer experience. And one thing to remember is that this is beginner friendly, but powerful enough to scale. So this could start up on shared hosting, tiny website, and who knows, you could blow up. And then all of a sudden you need to get on a not get off the shared server, get on a dedicated server. And suddenly you need to actually get on the phone with the web host to set this up. It isn't as simple as what I'm going to show you. But when you're at that point, you'll have a budget to be able to afford those kind of things. You ready to get started? Because in the next episode, we'll cover domain names and web hosting considerations. And this will help you get your website live without much hassle. I'm looking forward to the next video. Last bit, I'm not a licensed counselor or a therapist. And if you are suffering from mental illness or even think you may have something going on, please find professional help. Or if you feel unmotivated to get help, share enough of your situation with someone you trust that can help you get the first step started. Take that first step, and then you are an object in motion and will remain in motion. Thanks, physics. Remember this, there's a reason you're on this rock. And if you're not sure what that is, you got to keep going and keep looking to find it. Until then, and until the next video, be well.